How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Creator's Process. As you know, my name is Jaden, and right next to me I have Amanda. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks. How are you?
It's good, and going well, thank you. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you for taking the time out of your day and out of your schedule to come onto the channel.
That's all right. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's okay. And yeah, well, as I said, I do appreciate, time. Your time is very valuable, and so yeah, no, I definitely do appreciate this. So thank you once again. And so I guess for people at home who are watching this video, tell us, what do you do with yourself when it comes to the arts?
So what I do, I'm a photographer, and I like to shoot landscapes. I like to shoot people. I like to shoot like product photography.
Yeah.
That's not my absolute favorite, but I still like to do it. I love details. I love shooting like the ocean from above and really crop like, the rocks, the waves, like all that kind of stuff. I love shooting like rock formations, like in Central Australia, like the real red tones. I love pastel tones. What else do I shoot? Events I've started doing. It's not a huge thing for me, but it's definitely a really fun thing because like I love being that girl at the event with the massive camera and like walking around. Do you want a photo? Like, because when I was 18, that was my dream. Like, I go to the club and see like the photographer walking around. I'm like, I want to be you. Like, that's what I want to do. So yeah,
that's amazing.
I've always sort of been like that. So yeah, literally anything. And myself, I love to shoot myself. That's fun.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I love that. And so in a way, you kind of put your hands in all these different areas of photography because you don't want to just stick with the one. You kind of want to say, and also show that you're versatile. So if someone approaches you saying, hey, can you do this for me? You're just like, oh, easy.
Literally.
Because I know that there are some photographers who stick with just one area, and then when they get approached with something else, they're like, oh, that's not really my area of interest. And so with you go, no, okay, what do you
I'll
need?
have a go at anything, literally anything. Like, I love it. I just love my camera and I love taking photos. So, yeah.
We were saying that before, like a photographer's camera is like its child.
Yeah.
Like we are
it's the love of my life. I just
we are literally that.
Yeah, it comes nearly everywhere with me. Like.
Yeah, we are literally that protective.
Yeah.
And are you one of those photographers as well that you're very particular on who holds it as well?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhat. My camera is like, the love of my life. It comes everywhere with me, all of my trips. A lot of, I try and bring it around during the day, but not so much because, weighs a freaking ton.
Yeah.
So I don't bring it everywhere, but I'll bring it on most of my trips, and a lot of the trips in the past have been solo. So it is really just me who uses it, but I don't have a problem giving it to someone else that I know, like a close friend or a partner or something like that. So I'll definitely let other people take the photo, but honestly, getting someone else to take a picture for me, it's not the same as when you take it yourself. You have a vision of how you want your photos, you give it to someone else, they're not going to do it exactly as you want. So
that's very true.
Unless I set up the shot for someone, then I'll get them to take a photo. But the camera is mine.
It's mine.
It's mine.
And I think sometimes I've had this problem where you then end up giving the camera to someone and you kind of go, oh, can you take our picture? And then they kind of look at you going, and then you're kind of, and you're just standing there going, the button's right there. And you're just like, why did I even think, because you just kind of go, okay, I may as well just be taking the photo myself.
Honestly, that's why I started shooting myself, because I've taken such beautiful shots of people, and I consider myself quite confident in front of the camera. So but then people were not confident behind my camera. So I was like, you know what? I want these nice photos of myself, whether it's just for myself or whether it's for Instagram or whether it's to show people what I'm capable of with my photos. I wanted, I just wanted photos of myself in this kind of aesthetic that I was after. So that's where my tripod has really come in, other than long exposure and night photography, which I also try and delve into. It's not really my style, but I try and delve into that.
I love that. And I was going to say, I can definitely see I think that's what I really love with your work, that your portraiture work, your self-portraits are absolutely stunning. I do see a lot of like a strength and a lot of power in, you know, like, and especially like, as you could probably tell as a photographer, like you don't see a lot of self-portraits of the photographer, you know, these days as well. So like I think, and even for me, like who have done interviews with photographer, like I've never met this person and I don't even know what they look like, but with you I'm like, okay, I've seen a photo of her, so I know who to look out for.
I do put a lot of myself online because I enjoy changing my look a lot. I enjoy like playing with colors, as you can see. Like I enjoy all that. So, and then to capture it, and then I love to edit. Make everything look filmy and vintage and beautiful. It's just like, to me, that's like romance. I love it.
I definitely can see that with your work, that you do work with textures, because like every time because I have times where like I like to zoom in on a photo and I like I can see the lines and textures, and so you capture that absolutely beautifully. So you know, like I really do love that you really focus on like the minor details.
I love
and
details.
The textures and you know, because sometimes they're the most important things. Like, and I always like to say this with if I am photographing someone as well, like those small details actually help create a picture, and I think sometimes a lot of people don't realize that, you know, sometimes those little details can actually change the way someone sees a photograph. So, you know, and I love that you actually take that time to make sure that every detail is like just perfect. And I think that's amazing. And so I'll ask you this, because your Instagram handle is the Barefoot Photographer. Is that? I got that right.
That's my Instagram.
Where did that name come from?
I consider myself a little bit more of a free spirit. I hate saying that because they're like, I'm a hippie. I do consider myself a bit more of a nomadic kind of traveler, if you could sort of say that. I mean, like I do work Monday to Friday. I'm studying teaching. Like I do have the very like boring normal life. Like I live at home. Like I live in freaking Melbourne. Like it's not, but I do try and like every school holidays, the 2 weeks I am away, I try and see as much, like I'm trying to see as much of Australia as possible. Like a lot of people, I think like to go overseas, which is totally valid. I can't wait to get overseas, but at the same time, I have such a huge appreciation for Australia. So it comes back to like, I love the earth and nature and being barefoot, and that's where it's come from.
That.
Like I like the whole, I just feel like it felt right. Like it really fits myself as an artist, as like a person and a traveler and an educator. So I just feel like, and I'm a photographer, so the barefoot photographer. I think I may have seen the word barefoot on Instagram and I was scrolling one day, and I knew I had to change my username at one point. I had my name as my username for 10 years. It was literally 10 years. 2011 was when I made my Instagram.
Wow.
And the name I had was my favourite character of my favourite TV show at the time, Amanda _Kalinda. I look back now, I'm like, I was 15. And because I connected with it so much, I didn't want to change it. I left it for years. I'd been considering changing my username for literal years, and I was like, I don't know, like what's gonna fit, like what's gonna sort of. I didn't want to sort of make myself a brand, but at the same time, like, but I want to be a photographer. So this has to change. Like I started giving out names to client, Amanda _Kalinda. Like it just didn't sound right. So I'm like, like the other day, someone yelled out to me, "What's your Instagram?" And I was like, "The Barefoot Photographer." And I was like, "This is a vibe. This is so cool." So
I love that.
I just kind of knew that's it just kind of fit. And then I did a little shoot with my sister Brianna. Not far from our house. We went to a national park that's about, I don't know, maybe a kilometre or two from our house, and we did a golden hour shoot because golden hour is my favourite time to shoot, definitely. So we went, did a little shoot. I wore my favourite dress, and I kind of just like reintroduced myself as the Barefoot Photographer on Instagram, and that's it. Now I'm like, my shoots are, you know, this is me now putting myself out as, yes, I want to do paid work. Still will definitely do TFP, still will definitely do some unpaid. I'm doing one of those soon, actually, a trade for photography, which would be awesome. But it's just like, this is me and this is my profession and this is what I want to do. But,
No, I love that, and it has a bit of the name, the Barefoot Photographer, because when I read that, it does have a really nice click to it, but it does have a bit of a realism as well. So like it has a bit of a real aesthetic. It's not like, as you said, it's not a brand name where like, you know, it's just sounds like a brand. It just sounds like just a very real, you know.
I was a bit worried that taking my name away from my Instagram would take me away from my account, because like, you know, I had friends saying, why don't you make an Instagram for photography? And that just did not feel right, because I'm like, no, my Instagram, because whilst I do upload things of like, oh, I went to this bar on the weekend, or I did this with friends, I still upload those things, but a majority of my page is my photography and my work. I just don't put, like, I have this thing where I don't put clients like on my grid, because I feel like that's like it's not like, I want my grid to be me and my travels, and then I use the highlights for client work, and I'm also working on a website so that I can sort of give someone like an actual link, because I just tell people go to the Barefoot Photographer, and I mean, I'm getting work out of it, but I think it would be really good to have like a website portfolio kind of thing. I think that's what all photographers do, have like a portfolio.
I've been trying to
not just the highlights on Instagram.
I try to do that myself as well, trying to work on a website, but it does take a bit of time. I think a lot of people don't realize that, and like every time people say, oh, do you have a website? And I'm like,
and when you have,
I was like,
and when you have, when it turns out, like when this is the side profession, when my full profession is, you know, teaching and studying and working 5 days a week at a primary school, it's like, I don't have time to sit there and, you know, work out this website. So hopefully that's something I can do over December. I don't know. When it aligns and when it fits, it'll happen. But for now, the Instagram is getting me work, and that's what matters. So
exactly. And you know, I think that's the same with me. I'm kind of just at that point where I'm like, you know, I'm still getting work. I'm still getting, you know, like clientele through Instagram. So I'm like, you know, yes, I'll probably will eventually get a website, but right now it's not such a huge important thing, even though a lot of people say you should get a website, and I'm like, do you know how long it takes to put together a website?
Oh yeah, I've got the homepage ready. I'm like, I've got the homepage, I got the Barefoot Photographer, and my actual page is the like cover photo is a picture I took in Mount Hotham of the Mount Hotham mountain, like the main, from the ski resort. Like I didn't go there to ski or anything. I was literally driving. God, that was a whole ass thing. I was accidentally went through Hotham, like during this Victoria trip I did. Not the last school holidays, the school holidays before. And I'd never seen mountains like that in my life. I'd never seen snow like that in my life. And I just saw this beautiful photo opportunity. I had the tripod with me, so let's take a few shots of myself with these mountains in the background, like just trying to take as much as I can. And yeah, I saw this beautiful mountain range, and so I put that as my photo. So that's my homepage, but I feel very, very drawn to Uluru at the moment. I went 2 years ago. So that's where I want to base a lot of my sort of photography around, is those pastel oranges and the real desert tones. So I love my mountain shot, but I'm like, I don't think it's going to fit. So.
Like, I think, you know, like, I mean, I think it would fit. Like, I mean, people walk in mountains, so like barefoot, you know, like,
that's it.
You know, I think that works out really well. I think that's great. And I definitely agree with you that, like, in Australia we have so many beautiful landscapes and beautiful and I don't think a lot of people realize like that. And like, one of the dreams I've had is to go around Australia and pretty much like travel by car through countryside, through the desert, and just photograph what I see, pretty much similar to what you would like to do as well, and what you have done. And I would love to do that, because there's just so much beautiful landscapes in Australia. I really recommend
it if you can find the time to, you know, take that time off work or whatever you've got to do. I definitely recommend it. At the start of this year, I knew that I wanted to go away for the Christmas holidays, so I was like, where do I want to go? I'm looking at, I've got a massive list of places I want to go in Australia, and I'm like, I knew I wanted to do something for a month. I'm like, what can I do? Like, where can I go? I went, well, I really want to see Port Noarlunga near Adelaide. I don't know why, I saw it on a blog once. Oh my God, it was stunning. I based this whole South Australia trip around going to Port Noarlunga, and I have a friend who I met, Jem, in Uluru. She was my tour guide when I booked this like camping tour back in 2019, and so I reached out to her, hey, like, I want to come to Adelaide and I want to do, you know, basically the month in South Australia. Let's sort of tee something up, and you know, and it started with, hey, I'll join you for 2 days, and then actually maybe I'll join you for the week, and then she ended up like, then she goes, actually, can I do the whole trip with you? And she's real tour guide. She just planned everything so perfectly and beautifully, and then things changed along the way, and she ended up going one way and we went the other. My sister came as well. Yeah, I ended up driving 6,000 kilometers in 27 days in my Corolla.
Well, I have to say I am extremely jealous of that. Like, that sounds like that would have just been such a amazing experience. As I said, that's something I've always wanted to do.
We
myself.
met so many people, and like I slept in the swag every single night. Me and my sister both slept in the swag, and Jem had her van, and then we had like one big van sleepover on our last night together.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's I highly recommend it. Even though I feel like my trip was like solo, because I planned it solo. I went with my friend, I went with my sister, I met people, and then the only time I actually was solo, I think, was the last 5 days. So out of 27 days, I was actually only by myself for like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, I highly recommend it. And then there have been other trips this year that have been amazing. A trip up New South Wales coast. We went up to Newcastle through the mountains, and I saw parts of New South Wales that I didn't know existed. That was amazing.
Wow.
And then back down the coast from Newcastle back to Melbourne. And then a Victoria trip for the snow.
Yeah, wow. Like, now that, like, after hearing all that, like, I think just now hearing those stories, and then, you know, thinking about, like I said, your title as the Barefoot Photographer, I really do think that is just like the perfect name for what, because it's kind of like, in a way, it's like your documentation, it's your travel blog of what you see and what you do.
Yeah.
And you travel, as you could say, sometimes by feet, you travel by, you know, like, to see and find and seek out these amazing locations. And so I honestly think, like, you've actually, just from hearing that, you've chosen the perfect name to represent you as a photographer. And I absolutely love that. To be honest, I love the name. I already love the name Barefoot Photographer, but I love it even more after hearing that. And I have to admit, I am very jealous of that. I'm gonna have to do that myself, like, you know, or maybe you might need to tuck me into one of your suitcases and I'll tag along as well. I'll sneak out.
Have you ever done any solo travel before?
No.
I know, like, it's not it really has to be for you, but I do recommend it just for your own sort of self-discovery and that time with yourself, because like there is nothing I love more in traveling, even just small trips, is booking that hostel and getting there and just like picking your bunk bed and sorting your shit out, and there's the PowerPoint, and that's where I'm going to be charging my camera, and like just all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you have to just kind of start. Like, I did my first my first solo trip. I did a Bali retreat with that Instagram 2020, when was it? 2019, I did Sally Mustang's self-love like yoga retreat. Yeah, I did that. I went by myself. That was my first overseas alone trip. That was the only solo trip I did overseas. I haven't done that myself yet. Feeling really drawn to Central Australia, to Queensland, and to potentially WA, but just, I don't know, that's got to really align. That's got to really align with work and stuff, because I am very passionate about like working and you know, saving a bit, and so my first kind of actual solo only for photography trip was I went to Sydney for 2 days. I was at ACU and it wasn't going well, and I ended up stopping there. I was like, where do I like, and where can I go, and where can I afford at the moment? Like, 'cause I don't want to spend too much.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, where can I go? And I'm like, you know what? I love Sydney. My sister Kate and I went to Sydney in 2018, and I loved it. Like, I'd never been to Sydney before. My parents were not travellers. I'd never been to Sydney. We went together, and we had such a good time. We loved it so much, and I was like, I love the Sydney Harbour Bridge. I think I want to capture it. So I just booked a hostel in Sydney, and I booked flights, and I went, like, I think it was like a week later or a few days later, I went and I just did this huge, like, it was only 2 days, but I went everywhere, and I captured from the moment I got up. I did, I think, 3 Sydney beaches in a day, all by bus. I just went everywhere.
Wow.
I did. I love Bondi. I wanted to see Manly. I wanted to go on the ferry so I could take pictures of Sydney Harbour Bridge. Like, this is where it fucking started. I was just like, I called it a photographer's retreat. I learned to capture myself. So I sort of learned, I'm going to position my camera on top of my bag and just kind of like...
Okay, yeah.
Like, I have these pictures of myself in the Sydney Olympic pool because I saw it on Instagram. I saw the bridge goes over the pool and I was like, I want to see that. So not only did I want to see it, I want to swim in the pool and I want to capture myself under the bridge in the pool. So I did that. Lifeguards didn't say anything. They saw the camera propped up on the bag. Like, what the fuck is this girl doing?
I definitely think that's, definitely any best advice to anyone doing that is just do it sometimes. You just got to go out and sometimes say, if you got the funds to do it and you just want to go out and just have your own retreat, just, just go and do it. I think you've encouraged me to now consider doing that myself. And I think I'm really excited to see, because as you said, you've got a few trips lined up. I'm excited to see some more amazing shots. Like, as I said, I've been a huge fan of your work for a while, so I'm really excited to see more of your documentation, more self-portraits, and I think it's going to be amazing.
But you were saying before about it's not the equipment that you have, it's like the skill you have with it.
Exactly.
I was in Port Noarlunga on day 4 of the trip. It was a windy day, we were on the beach, and I changed my lens on the beach of my camera. Listen, I changed my lens, sand got in the mirrors. Day 4. I have an iPhone 7. That's how most of my pictures were captured. We're in the campsite. We're at Streaky Bay campsite, and it's like 8 hours away from Adelaide. There is barely any reception, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, we're not going back to Adelaide for the next 18 days. Like, I'm going to have to, and my sister's like, you're going to have to use your phone. But she's like, I think this is sort of a sign, Amanda, even though it kind of was my fault that I broke my camera. She was like, this is kind of a sign that you need a new one. Because I was planning to get a new one anyway. I'd had the 750D for like 4 years. I was shooting every single day with it. And I was like, I don't know, I just need, I think I need it. She's like, it's time. So I'm there on the campsite. I'm like, there's no reception, and I'm literally researching. I'm like, mirrorless DSLR. Should I deflect to Sony? No, I think I want to stay with Canon. I'm there doing my research, trying to get a signal, watching videos, and anyway, one of my favorite photographers, Gemma Peanut. She has a really good. She's narrowed down everything, and because she's a woman, I feel like I can really relate to her photography and stuff. Yeah. She has narrowed down a list on her page of the gear she recommends, and she recommended the 650, the 6D. So I got that. I got this body, and then I got the kit lens, which I've got in there.
Yeah.
And then recently I just got this lens, 24 to 70mm. I'm not very good with lens names and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But she recommended this. She recommended that, and I just bought it. And then I went and did a click and collect at Ted's in Adelaide 18 days later. It felt like this cruel kind of message from the universe that my camera broke at the beach I specifically wanted to go to for years. Oh my God.
But sand can definitely, and even for me, I've photographed at sand beaches, and they can be a photographer's worst nightmare.
Oh yeah, being out in the elements with a $1,000 camera, or this one's a little bit more, but
it's the same with the rain. We're just we're so cautious and we have to be so careful. But it seems like it worked out really well for the best of you at the end of it.
Well, now that I've been picking up paid work and stuff, I feel like I can with a camera that's sort of more aligned with what I wanted to do. Like the 750D, it really got me through for years, and really built up that, that camera knowledge and that, confidence with shooting people, through Retro Eco when I used to run it. And I just kind of knew that I needed something just higher quality, just better, more, I kind of sort of think of it as more professional in a way. As you said, there's no reason why you can't shoot on a phone. I fully support that, especially half my South Australia trip shot on my iPhone 7. iPhone. not just iPhone 7. It was run into the ground. It was broken. And I just did, and I'm like, it's time to be even more creative than usual. So,
I love that. That's amazing. And I think that you definitely, with the equipment that you have, you do create some very beautiful shots. And as I said, I love that you've explained how you've documented all this journey as the Barefoot Photographer, and you've created pretty much this visual diary.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see that, and I think that's amazing. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing your future trip photos. And
hopefully Central Australia. That's what I really feel drawn to, but we'll see.
That sounds
not
amazing.
Not too sure. This maybe Tassie for the school holidays coming up, or Queensland. Not too sure.
Sounds perfect. I think everyone watching needs to keep posted to the Barefoot Photographer. Got some good stuff coming up. But I wanted to say a massive thank you once again, just for taking the time out of your schedule just to talk to me on the channel. As I said, I've been actually wanting to have you on the channel for quite a while, so thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Your videos are really good. You talk to some really good people. You have so many creators on there. It was really fun to just watch a couple of them a few weeks back, just kind of preparation, but also it was some I already followed. I'm like, oh my god, that chick is so cool. I'm gonna go see. Oh my god, cut that out. Don't say yeah. I'm like, oh my god, that girl was so cool. I'm gonna go check out her Instagram, and then turns out I'm already following her. I'm like,
oh really?
Yeah.
It's kind of like one person explained it as the encyclopedia of Melbourne creatives, and I'm like, yeah, kind of is turning into that, isn't it? But
literally.
Well, welcome to it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh, that's okay. And hopefully our paths will cross again. I'm very I will definitely have to tease something up as well. I think it would be great.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Amazing. And so for everyone watching at home, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of The Creators Process. As I say in every video, if you want to check out Amanda's work, I'll leave links to everything down below. The Barefoot Photographer. Stay tuned to some amazing content coming soon. And as I always say as well, let's keep supporting Melbourne creatives, especially we've just come out of lockdown. We just need to keep supporting each other. Go purchase prints, go purchase people's work.
Prints.
Oh, you do prints?
I do.
See,
prints,
right there. Go purchase
They're
one
digital
of her
prints at the moment, but I have prints.
Amazing, and please do go and purchase her prints. Absolutely phenomenal, absolutely amazing. Let's keep supporting the local community, and comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.